Hello everyone, welcome back again to Military TV. Today I'm going to take you to see how powerful the Russia Zircon anti-ship hypersonic cruise missile is. The 3M-22 Tsirkon or Zircon is a scramjet-powered maneuvering hypersonic cruise missile being developed by Russia. The missile can develop a speed of Mach 9 and fly at an altitude of 30 to 40 kilometers, where the range and speed increase as air resistance is smaller. Experts estimate the payload at 300 to 400 kilograms and the missile length at 8 to 10 meters. For comparison, the Tomahawk cruise missile carried by U.S. Navy and Royal Navy submarines fly at around Mach 0.75. The new weapon is a natural development of Russia's experience with cruise missile submarines. For much of the Cold War, the missiles carried by Russian submarines were focused on hitting ships at sea, particularly the U.S. Navy's formidable aircraft carriers. It was not until the conflict in Syria that Russia began using submarine-launched cruise missiles in a similar way to the U.S. Navy's Tomahawk missile, as a long-range surgical strike weapon. Most of the submarine-launched cruise missiles fired at Syria have been subsonic caliber-type weapons launched from smaller Kilo-class diesel-electric submarines. The Zircon will be a significant advancement over Caliber, which makes it a very serious weapon indeed. Zircon anti-ship hypersonic cruise missile is designed to attack ships at sea and targets on land at speeds of up to Mach 9, giving enemy missile defenses little time to prepare. Zircon is designed to use speed to penetrate enemy air defense systems. Depending on the missile's flight profile, a U.S. Navy carrier battle group defended by the Aegis combat system would have between 2 minutes and 20 seconds to detect, track, and shoot down the missile. Russian sources state that Zircon's maximum altitude is 100,000 to 130,000 feet. Reaching max altitude, Zircon could then fly straight at its target in a shallow dive. At more than 6,000 miles an hour, Zircon flies 100 miles in less than 1 minute. The powerful SPY-1 radar on U.S. cruisers and destroyers can detect an incoming missile at 192 miles, giving a U.S. carrier strike force less than 2 minutes to detect, track, and shoot down an incoming Zircon missile. If, on the other hand, Zircon enters a steep dive and then flies low like other cruise missiles, it could prove unstoppable to many navies. Assuming Zircon flies at an altitude of 200 feet, about typical for a cruise missile, a surface ship will detect Zircon at a distance of just 34 miles. In that scenario, the targeted ship has less than 20 seconds to down the incoming Zircon missile. That's hardly enough time for the defending ship commander to process what is happening, let alone launch missiles to shoot the incoming hypersonic missile down. Zircon is one of 6 new weapon systems unveiled by Russian President Vladimir Putin during a State of the Nation speech. In addition to Zircon, Putin says Russia is working to deploy the Sarmat heavy intercontinental ballistic missile, a Vanguard strategic hypersonic weapon, Kinzhal tactical hypersonic weapon, Poseidon nuclear-armed long-range torpedo, and Burevestnik nuclear-powered cruise missile. The Zircon is designed and deployed by NPO Mashinostroyenia as a further development of its Hella hypersonic experimental flying vehicle concept that was on display at the 1995 Max Air Show. Zircon has been in development for several years, and its existence was confirmed in February 2019 by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Putin stated the missile was capable of Mach 9 flight and had a range of 1,000 kilometers, 620 miles. And the missile will be armed with a conventional or nuclear warhead. According to the head of Russia's United Shipbuilding Corporation, it will be possible to deploy Zircon on all future Russian Navy warships. The new missile will breathe new life into the Russian Navy, many of whose ships were built before the end of the Cold War. Zircon missiles are launched from the Universal Ship-Firing Complex 3S-14 vertical launching system. These launchers in particular are equipped on Project 22-350 frigates, Project 23-80 corvettes, and Yasin-class cruise missile submarines. The Admiral Gorshkov was chosen for Zircon trials from the very beginning. Admiral Gorshkov is an Admiral Gorshkov-class frigate of the Russian Navy and the lead ship of the class. The vessel was laid down on February 1, 2006. launched on October 29, 2010, and commissioned on July 28, 2018, with Russia's Northern Fleet. The ship is named after the hero of the Soviet Union, Sergei Gorshkov. Admiral Gorshkov-class frigates displace 4,500 tons and can develop a speed of 29 knots. They are armed with P-800 Onyx and Caliber anti-ship and anti-attack cruise missiles and the Parliament Redut air defense missile system. With the addition of Zircon missiles, analysts say Gorshkov-class frigates will boast more firepower than America's cruisers and heavy destroyers. According to the TASS news agency, the Russian Navy's lead Project 22-350 frigate, Admiral Gorshkov, quietly departed Belomorsky Naval Base on July 19, 2020 to conduct the second test firing of the Tsirkon hypersonic missile. The second test firing was originally scheduled earlier, but the coronavirus pandemic reportedly delayed the launch. The first test firing of the Tsirkon hypersonic missile from the Admiral Gorshkov frigate was conducted earlier this year. The missile was fired against a ground target in the northern Ural mountain range, while the ship was in the Barents Sea, a distance reportedly exceeding 500 kilometers. The Kazan submarine was laid down in July 24, 2009, and launched in 2017. It is expected to join the Russian Navy in late 2020 to serve in the Northern Fleet. The main weapon of the Project 885-885M submarines are Caliber and/or Onyx cruise missiles. Russia is planning a fleet of 8 sister ships of Kazan to carry Tsirkon, and these will be joined by future attack submarines which will also be designed to carry the new missile. My analysis of Russian submarine building programs suggests that by 2030, Russia may field 8 submarines with Tsirkon missiles and 17 by 2040. Tsirkon is not the only groundbreaking weapon being developed by Russia. It is also developing the Burevestnik nuclear-powered cruise missile with virtually unlimited range. The current types of missile defenses are not adequate to defend against hypersonic missiles. Our whole defense system is based on the assumption that we are going to intercept the ballistic objects. A security analyst of American think tank RAND Corporation says, "A ballistic missile is like a fly ball in baseball. The outfielder knows exactly where to catch it because its path is determined by momentum and gravity. It is a different scenario for hypersonics. The combination of the difference maneuverability and the speed makes hypersonic missiles unpredictable and extremely difficult to defend against." That's all for today, guys. If you have a great article to be discussed about military, you can contact us by email. Thank you so much for watching Military TV.